Subscribe and pass it along. ACONNECTIONTV, the network.
What is going on, y'all? I'm Wesley from ACONNECTIONTV, the network, and there are only a couple things that I feel that I want to say about the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion. First, shout out to Nene, because Nene went on the Kelly and Mike show and said one thing that was really poignant, and I think that everybody needs to understand. Not every particular cast member on this show is a housewife. So for that reason, they should not be on the show. I completely, wholeheartedly agree. Most definitely I do. If you are not a housewife, then you should not be on the show. On the flip side, Claudia has made the season interesting. Yes, Claudia has made this the season interesting. Kenya, I can do without because she does way too much. But now, hey, she's found the matchmaker and she's getting married and she's going to become a housewife, right? At least that's what it's... I see that as something that's going to play out just for the sake of... But I hope what she has going on with this matchmaker shit is real. I hope it's not another Walter situation. And then Porsha, I don't know. Nene says she's not walking away from Real Housewives of Atlanta. I wouldn't blame her because that's constant check money. That's constant money. And I know she's one of the highest paid, if not the highest paid, because she is the original cast member. She's probably the highest paid, but whatever. I'm not checking her funds like that, so I don't really care, nor do I know. But at the end of the day, I can understand her walking away, and I can understand her not wanting to walk away. But can the season last without Nene? I believe that it can. I do. I believe that I can. I believe every single housewife on Real Housewives of Atlanta are dispensable. They are. They are. But what I wanted to... The takeaways that I have from the reunion, because I'm not going to talk about the whole thing. It was a lot going on. Andy Cohen does a tremendous job hosting. And I love the fact that he reads and shades and points out certain things. And he gets the females flustered. Every single female had a glam squad, and every single female looked phenomenal. Let's get that out of the way, okay? The best dressed was Cynthia. I thought Cynthia was absolutely gorgeous. Second to her was Phaedra. Third was Nene. Fourth was Kandi. Fifth was Claudia. Seventh was Kenya. And then last was Porsha. Because Kenya and Porsha looked alike. Kenya had the long hair. And then, Porsha had the long hair. And then Kenya had the little ponytail. I don't know. But anyways, best dress goes to Cynthia. But they all had a glam squad. I loved Nene's blonde wig. I thought it was fabulous. Although we can see the makeup line that hid the lace. I was just like, I don't understand why females do that. Like, your real hair doesn't look like that. If all of these females can get their hair to look the way that Claudia does, real, then we would be good. Like, we would be good. But Nene, you looked good with that wig, so shout out to you. That pantsuit that you had on was off the chain, or whatever it was off the hot chain. And I love the fact that everyone had on white. I will say that. It would have been... yeah, if Andy was in white, it would have been way too much. But I love that all the females had white and made them look pure, knowing damn well that they aren't. I don't know how long this video is going to be. There's a lot of things I want to talk about. Phaedra. Actually, let me go down the line from left to right on my screen. Claudia. Claudia was nervous as shit. Her lip was trembling. All the females were nervous. Even Kandi had to gasp for air because she just knew that this was going to be a thick-ass reunion. The only one that did not seem bothered remotely was Nene and Phaedra, to be honest. My personal opinion. And Cynthia didn't look fazed by much either. But definitely Claudia, Kenya, Kandi, they had like this nervous air about them. Porsha, indubitably, had this nervous air about them. So that was very interesting to watch. But Claudia wanted her voice heard. She said that the reason why she spoke to Nene at the charity event was because she never sees her, and that was her perfect opportunity. That was not That was an opportunity, but it wasn't a perfect opportunity, Claudia. But I just feel that although Claudia remains real, I think that she tries to go too hard because she is the new girl on the block. And so for that, I think that she just needs to calm down a little bit and be that female that stands up for defending yourself when there is a need to. The bus trip, when they was riding on that bus in Puerto Rico, wherever they went, and she was getting at Porsha and getting at Nene, that was unnecessary. There was a positive air about the vehicle, so there was no need to just get onto attack mode. I think Claudia does things for the sake of doing them, but she could be the favorite if she just took a chill pill and just stood up for what she believed in at the proper time. That's just me. Cynthia didn't really say much this particular reunion, but she just looked gorgeous, effortless. She read into Porsha and kind of brought Porsha down. When I tell you Cynthia had this poise on her like this, and the hair was just beautiful, and she was like, girl, cut it out. Girl, what are you trying to say? Spit it out. She's like, girl, what? Come on now, sit down. Cynthia was there. Cynthia was motherfucking there, but it just wasn't her show yet. Kandi went all in on Nene. Your superiority, your superior attitude, superior complex. I hate your stank ass attitude. I do not hate you, first of all. And we see each other. We see each other. I was like, okay, Nene, Kandi, we know, boo-boo, we know. Kandi is overly emotional, and Kandi felt some sort of way about Phaedra being friends with Nene. I completely understand, because I don't see how Phaedra and Nene are so close, but they made some valid points and some interesting notions. Both of them stated that Phaedra never went and spoke about Kandi to Nene. They both stated that. And Nene made it perfectly clear why they connected, because they both dealt with the divorce issue. They both dealt with their marriage problems in publicly, and they both have kids while doing that. So they definitely have something to connect with. Whatever conversation they had beyond the screens, you will never know. They probably apologized to each other for all the dumb shit, but every female, for the most part, has done or said some crazy dumb shit to people on here, and then they end up being boo-boo kitty friends after the fact. So, Kandi was definitely all up into her feelings, but I feel that if Kandi reached out to Phaedra enough, we would have definitely seen the footage. And it wouldn't have been a part of the storyline. I feel as a friend, both parties should have definitely reached out to each other so that they knew what was going on. I have a friend right now. I haven't heard from him since February. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I only have one way of communicating with him, because he lives all the way in a DMV area. He only had one phone. The phone got turned off. Then I got the phone to the main house, but I updated my phone, and then I lost that contact number for the main number. I called the cousins. I called the friends in Atlanta. Haven't heard from the dude since February. I don't know if he's alive. I don't know what's going on. I just hope that he's fine. But I've reached out. I've done my part. There's nothing else I can do. There is not one person that can't say that I haven't tried. You know what I'm saying? So when you care about someone, you do reach out. When you don't hear from someone for so long, you do reach out if you genuinely care. And I feel that both females could have definitely reached out more. I love Kandi. I respect Kandi. I think she's one of the realest on the show. So I don't know. I respect Kandi. I love her. So it is what it is. After her was Kenya. Kenya didn't really have a lot to say, but it seemed like she was trying to play the Martin Luther King, Selma act card on Porsha and how Porsha's reacting and handling her business. First of all, a female that comes on this show and flirts with a married man and is so abrasive with a married man has no room to talk about how someone should conduct themselves. based on their history. When we look at her aunt and then we look at Kenya, we don't get the same. So don't try to bring up Salma and Porsha in the same sentence. Porsha didn't even know that the damn Underground Railroad was she thought it was a real Underground Railroad. So I really couldn't understand how Kenya was trying to save face and trying to deface Porsha. It just wasn't making no motherfucking sense to me. It wasn't making no motherfucking sense to me. One had nothing to do with the other. At the end of the day, Kenya has progressed this episode or this season, but she's still Kenya. She still wants to cry victim, and she still wants to throw darts. And I just don't understand how that it just doesn't balance out. Doesn't balance out for me, Kenya. It just really doesn't. Nene. The whole reunion was about Nene. It's always about Nene. But I think Nene did one smart thing. She said, you know what? I'm wrong. Y'all right. Let's just go. I mean, not to say that Nene has not done any wrong. She has. Everything Kandi said was right about her and how she's treated her so-called friends and whatever, and how she may treat Phaedra later down the line. But Nene made some points too. Phaedra talked about Nene. Nene talked about Phaedra. They both did wrong to each other. Regardless of who started it or whatever the case may be, they both ended up doing wrong with each other. And they both can admit that they did wrong or whatever the case may be and move forward. That's a mature thing to do. But everyone wanted to definitely go in. Not so much go in on Nene, but I think Nene deflected really well, and I think she held her composure. And I don't know. There's nothing else to say about Nene. I just love that damn wig. Who came after Nene? Phaedra. Phaedra, we were getting into whether or not Apollo was abusive to her or physically, abusive to her at any point in their marriage. And she told Andy flat out, I don't want to discuss that with you. Makes sense, but obviously there's something wrong there, because if there wasn't anything wrong there, she would have stated that there was nothing wrong there. So the fact that she doesn't want to talk about it only leads us to believe that, yes, something is indeed wrong. You know what I'm saying? That's just acting like asking someone if they're gay. If they hesitate or if they don't want to answer the question, then you already, you know what I'm saying? Or asking somebody if they've ever killed someone. If they hesitate or don't want to answer the question, then yeah, they probably have done some things. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But I'm glad that she's not in that situation anymore, at least not for the next 5 to 8 years. I think that's a beautiful thing. Phaedra looked poised and elegant. She was gracious, and she held her composure. And she spoke to Kandi about their friendship. She spoke to Kenya about their situation, and she left it at that. I thought it was great how she kept her legs crossed and was holding it strong. She said that they're still together. She's not divorced. She explained why she connected with Nene on another level. And I don't know, I gave Phaedra all the respect this particular episode of this reunion. And then we get to Porsha. I like Porsha. I don't care how she gets her money. Okay? Nowadays, you got to get the money however it is that you can. Honestly, you really do. If you can get the money that way, get the money that way. Because nowadays, shit is hard out here in these streets. Trust and motherfucking believe. So I don't judge anyone for how they get their money, and I've thought of some crazy ways for me to get some more extra cash. So if she's sleeping with married men or doing whatever she does or whatever to get her Rolls Royce or whatever she got going on, more power to you. More power to you, boo. More power to you, boo. How that Jasmine Sullivan song go? Hold on. I gotta think of the right name. That Jasmine Sullivan song. Is it Masterpiece? I think it is Masterpiece. No, mascara. I gotta keep my mascara on. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Keep your mascara on. But that dress looked like it was falling off the dress looked cockeyed and and that thing, the line was over here, but the hair was supposed to come down like this, but the line The line was like here. You know what I'm saying? So it was just a lot going on with Porsha. I felt bad for her because she was extremely nervous about how she conducted herself last reunions, calling things specters when they're scepters, and being flustered and slanderous and trying to remain poised and well put together, but just looking a hot ass, shitty ass mess collectively and mentally on this particular reunion. Not saying that she shouldn't have been on the reunion, but when the reunion starts without you and then you have to come on, I mean, it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on, and she was under a lot of pressure, so I get it, I understand, but I don't know. Porsha, she just looked a hot plum fool. Let me say, she sounded a hot plum fool, and I felt bad for her. I really did, because both that couch, Kenya, Cynthia, and Claudia dug in on her ass, and she was not prepared. And neither Phaedra nor Nene took her side. She sat there like a deer in the headlights, caught and all bothered. I don't know about y'all, but what did y'all think of this particular reunion? I thought it was very interesting. I really wasn't expecting to talk that much about it, but let me know what you guys think. I'm Wesley from A Connection TV, the network. Deuces.